Hello, everybody. Welcome to the NEPA Scene Podcast, the only live streaming face-to-face arts and entertainment podcast covering northeastern Pennsylvania, offering a true alternative voice in local media. We're coming to you from the NEPA Scene studio underneath Center City Print in downtown Scranton. I'm Rich Howells, the founder and editor of NEPA Scene. Summer Costco is behind the scenes in the producer's chair. And tonight we're here with Ted Felicetti of Stroudsburg power pop punk rock band Don't Panic, who have a nearly sold out album release show coming up this Friday, March 27th at the Sherman Showcase. So we're going to be talking about all 10 tracks on their upcoming album For Your Consideration, their unique comeback story that led them to produce 4 albums in 7 years, hitting the road with bands like Bowling for Soup, Less Than Jake, The Ataris, Alien Ant Farm, The Spill Canvas, and more. The rising cost of touring and making it as an independent band, running a Patreon and creating engaging content for fans. Ted also working as a booking agent, playing the Rockboat Floating Music Festival. Their next tour with Driveways, Like Roses, and Action Adventure in August, and much, much more. So please join our conversation with your questions and comments down below. We'll get to those later on in the show. So anything you want to add to the conversation, anything that we bring up that you find interesting, or something you want to comment, or tell us your favorite song from the band, or your favorite time that you've seen them live, any of that kind of stuff, leave those down below. We'll get to those later on. And now, for the first time, I present to you the new intro video for the NEPA Scene Podcast, as well as our theme song. Summer, cue the music. NEPA Scene is brought to you by Center City Print, bringing your ideas to life in 3 locations: Scranton, Kingston, and Hazleton. These one-stop shops are locally owned and operated, providing high-quality print products at affordable prices. From business cards, brochures, and banners to posters, flyers, and tickets, let their custom design solutions and exceptional customer service make your next project a reality. Use promo code NEPA Scene in person or online at centercityprint.com for 10% off. Just wait. Don't tune out. I know your attention spans are like squirrels now, but please don't tune out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I had a fun and long time making that, so please let us know what you thought about it in the comments down below. And now let's get into the interview. So it's been a while since we've done this.
Yeah,
and we did this right before COVID really kind of took over.
It was
the
like
country.
the week of. I think the week that we did the last interview was 2020, and it was the same week that the basketball. Like the NBA canceled all the games and stuff. Like it was like right there.
Yeah. And they had canceled the parade. I remember that being a big.
And then we had a show coming up like that weekend or something that got canceled. So it was like everything. It was like I did this interview. It was like on a Tuesday or something, and then I got home and it was just like, oh, no more. So we're back. So can't wait to see what happens next week.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Hopefully
great.
the world does not just completely end, or
Lots of options. Yeah, all sorts of options. Asteroids. We got all sorts of stuff going on. Aliens. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. So if you missed that one, and you might have because of all of that going on, let's start at the beginning. So tell us how you got into music and you first picked up a guitar.
Oh boy. I first got into music. My dad was like a cover guy. Like, so he did like bars and stuff. I lived in New York, and we lived in Bayside, Queens, and so he would go and play like all the bars and stuff. And sometimes my mom would bring me my brother, and we'd go watch. And then we moved to Pennsylvania in '94, and he picked doing up again bars and stuff in Pennsylvania in the Poconos. We moved to Blakesley, which is about 45 minutes south of here or so. And still I was like 11, 12. We'd go and watch my dad play, and then I wound up actually joining a boys choir when I was 11, and I learned how to sing from that. I only did it for about a year, but it was cool. Went on tour, went to Japan, and did it in Japan for about a month, and did a lot of like U.S. tour dates and stuff, and I just didn't really like it. But after I learned kind of how to sing, and I kind of had a little bit of a natural talent with it, I guess, and then not seeing my dad play so much, me and my brother were both like, yeah, we want to like learn how to play in a band. And right around that time, it was like 94, 95, Green Day's Dookie album came out. I got it on tape, and yes, I cassette tapes. I'm that old, and it felt like attainable, like hearing them, because it was like just like 4 chords and not a great singer. So I was kind of like, yeah, I mean, their band's great,
that's
but
punk,
yeah, exactly. And I kind of, as I got into high school, got more and more interested, and bought a really cheap acoustic guitar for like $100. And I think the first thing I learned was Summer Lovin', by the Grease boom, 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 just like that line, And then I tried to start learning how to play Beatles songs and Green Day and Offspring, and I started to listen to like kind of punk rock music when I was in high school. I worked at a pizza place.
Oh.
And at the pizza place, all the guys in the kitchen would play all these like punk rock albums like Lagwagon and Suicide Machines and Millencolin and Offspring and that kind of stuff. So I kind of like where I got into it. So me and my brother and our buddy Ian, who lived down the street, were like, let's start a band, even though none of us really knew how to play instruments. And we like literally assigned. It's like, all right, you will be the drummer. So my brother Rob was like, okay, I guess I'll drum, And then we bought a bunch of cheap crap, and we started playing like fire hall shows and basements and parties, and we're literally wherever. We played at the pizza place I worked at. It was like wherever they would have us. We were terrible. And that band was called Shortwave Radio. And eventually we started to get a little better. We started to play a lot of shows right around like 2000, 2001, 99, like right, and we started to tour. And my brother was still in high school. It was like right as I was graduating, 2002. And then my mom forced him to quit the band because we were traveling too much, and he was too young. He was 15, and we were like, going away on tour for a month, 2 months, a really long time in the summer.
Yeah.
And so he quit. Well, he got forced to, quit. And then that band kind of broke up, and then I joined another band. I played in that band for about 8 years called Split 50, which was based out of the Poconos. And then that band broke up, and then here we are. And I started this.
I was going to say, Split 50 kind of made a name for themselves locally.
A little bit, yeah. We toured. We put out a couple records on some like decent labels, and we did Warped Tour every summer for about 30, 40 days, like every single year for about 6 years in a row. It was really cool, and played a lot of cool shows and did a lot of festivals. And, it wasn't as busy as I would have liked at that time, especially when I was in my early 20s, and it was like just real, like I just want to do this all the time.
You were hungry for it.
Yeah, I didn't go to school. I didn't go to college. So this kind of like became my thing,
So you were buried in massive debt.
I have no debt, no debt.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. I never spent a dime on college, which was good, ultimately.
Yeah. That would have been the decision I would have made in retrospect.
Yeah. A lot of people I know went to school and do what I do, and they're like, yeah, I did $100,000 in bills, and I'm still doing the same thing you're doing, and you spent nothing.
Right.
I would say like a lot of the times in the arts, and not always the case, of course, but a lot of the times it's just being out there and doing it is way better than having someone give you the fundamentals.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's much I could have learned in college that would have like prepared me for what I do.
Yeah.
So it worked out for me. It doesn't always work out for everybody, but
right. Yeah.
I was lucky.
We're not saying don't go get your education if that's your thing, but consider that you can get around that if you
Yeah, no,
apply yourself.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
So then Don't Panic came in 2009.
Yeah, technically I started in 2008. My band Split 50 was kind of like not broken up, but we were kind of just like slowing down. And I started this as a side project because I had a bunch of songs that I written that didn't really work for the band that I wanted to record. So I made friends with AJ, who just happened to live down the street from me. I didn't know him, but someone was like, I know this really good guitar player, like you should talk to him. So I think we started talking on MySpace, and when that was a thing. And we met up and I showed him the songs and we kind of just got together and worked on them. And then we had a drummer that we met again through a friend of mine. I don't remember who introduced me. It was either my buddy Brad or Joe Caviston. It was one of the two people. And we know this really good drummer. His name's Zach Kell. She lives up in Carbondale, Scranton area. So I called up Zach, and then I used to go over to his house, and we kind of like started the band. And then 2009, we like officially started the band, like made an album, an EP. And then I had our bass player Keith, who was in Split 50 with me, joined with the three of us. And we did, we recorded an EP. It was like 6 songs. We went on tour with a band called Trust Company, which was really cool. Did that for like 2 weeks, and it worked out really well. And we then got asked to go on tour with the Ataris in 2010. And at this point, Split 50 had broken up, so Don't Panic was my band. I was working my job and then just playing in this band. And Zach couldn't do the tour, so our friend Anthony, who played in my brother's old band, was like, I'll come drum, and he came on the tour. AJ couldn't come on the tour, so my brother came, filled on guitar. This is like a very common thread with our band, has always been like, whoever's available, like, we all don't care. Like, we just want to hang out, we want to play our shows and have a good time. So whoever's around will come play our shows with us. As long as I guess I'm there singing, it's like, whatever. If everyone's cool with it, then I'm cool with it.
Right.
So we did a U.S. tour with the Ataris. That was about 50 days. We went out to California, came back, and that was me, Anthony, Keith, and my brother Rob was on guitar. AJ was still in the band. He just couldn't do the tour. And we came back. I started to write some new songs, but when we got back from the tour, I was like 25, 26, we were just like, we're all broke. None of us, like, I worked for myself, just like booking concerts and like, doing that kind of stuff at local venues. Anthony got a job at the casino and up at Swiftwater, and Keith was like as a waiter, and everyone's just like, we need to like go back to work now and just save money forever. And then when we have time and money, we'll come back to this. And that was 2011, 2012. So we did like a recording, touring hiatus. It was still a band. We just weren't really doing much. Yeah. And then that kind of lasted for considerably longer than we had planned. It was about 7 years, so we didn't do anything with it, really. Yeah. So, and then we're back, 2019.
So what was the impetus that said, okay, we're finally
catalyst.
We're putting the time in? Yes, exactly. What are we doing to make this happen?
So so if you fast forward over the course of those 7 years, I had started booking like a booking agency and booking tours for other bands. So that's what I was doing. I was, living at home, doing my thing. Anthony was working his job. Keith was working his job. AJ was working at the recording studio that he's like an engineer at. No, we talked every now and then, and it was just kind of whatever. And my brother wound up joining a band called Bowling for Soup, which was in 2018 or so. And he was going on tour all the time, and like he was just having this great time. And in 2019, he was like, hey, we're doing an East Coast tour, or we're going to like Florida or something. They're doing like a bunch of like, they're on tour with Real Big Fish, doing like a co-headline tour. And he's like, do you want to come just hang out? You don't do any work, like just hang on the tour bus and drink. I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. I'll do that. And I literally, like, I flew down to Florida. I met up with him, met his band, got on the tour bus, went to the first venue. And like I walked backstage, I walked out onto the stage as they were loading in. I kind of just like looked around. I was like, oh, I really missed this. Like I didn't know it did. But then when I got there, I was just like, I felt it immediately. I was just like, oh, this is like a missing piece of my life again. So I did a little tour with them. I got home, and it was like the day I got home, I called Anthony, I called AJ, I called Keith. I was like, hey, I want to do this band again. Do you want to be a part of it? Or, do you want me to find new people? And everyone was like, yeah, let's do it. So that's kind of where it started. And the singer Jarrett from Bowling for Soup was very, on the tour, he was like asking me questions like, oh, what do you do? Like, you know, and I told him about my band, my old band. And I was like, I don't really do it anymore. So he listened to it and he was just like, as soon as I got home, he's like, started texting me. He's like, you got to do the band again. You guys were great. Like, well, so he was really a big push into me doing it. So I give him a lot of credit for kind of being a fire under my ass and making me kind of, you know, start it again. So and then 2019, we got back together and we started working on our first full-length record. It was really cool.
Right, and that was See Through It All.
See Through It All, yeah, which was the album that was releasing when I came and did the show the first time.
Right. We had premiered a couple of the lyric videos,
and we did the music video for our first. That was the very first music video I ever made, which was kind of cool.
Yeah,
and having at that point, this is 6-7 years ago, but at that point I'm like, you know, mid-30s, 35, 30, and it was cool, like having done it so long playing and touring and never having done a video.
Yeah.
So we really went all out with it and had an awesome time. And it's become like kind of like a semi-passion of mine, like making them and filming them and directing and, you know, that kind of stuff. It's really fun. Which a lot of people know us for, like our videos now, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that was at the Sherman Theater that you
Correct.
shot that
Yeah.
too. So
that's right.
That's pretty cool. So So all this is, I mean, we can now pick up where we left off in a sense.
Sure.
What is going through your mind as the world is now shutting down and all these potential opportunities? You finally got this album.
Yeah.
That you're like, okay, great. Like, we finally did it. Let's get out there. And then everything shuts down.
It was not fun. And when we came back, I was super nervous about recording and writing. I hadn't done it in a really long time.
Yeah.
So like half of that record is like songs that we had written 10 years prior that we just didn't do anything with. And we're like, let's just kind of spruce them up. And it wasn't for a lack of anything except my confidence that I was like, I don't know if I could write a whole record of new songs. I don't know if they'll be good. So we redid those first, you know, we redid a couple songs and then we wrote half. So it's like half and half. And honestly, what I think is the new songs that we were in was like miles better than the old stuff that, you know, was trying to be a crutch. Which worked out good. And luckily, after we finished the record, and we were like, all right, it's going to come out 2020, we had set up, we actually reconnected with our friends in the Ataris. We told them, hey, we're back. They're like, cool, let's do some tour dates together. So they had set up a tour with us in April. We were going to release the music video. We had all this stuff planned. And then, like you said, like all that crap happened. And the shows we did have got canceled and we didn't know what to do. We had a brand new album. We spent a bunch of money on it. We had a music video, spent a bunch of money on it. So we were like, I guess let's just live online like everybody else. And so we were doing, you know, live streams of acoustic shows. We were doing, we played Jeopardy, like, you know, with the band, and like you could live stream and watch us play Jeopardy against each other. We just did whatever we could.
Yeah.
Kept as busy as we could. We did a live streaming show or two, like from a venue or the recording studio. Basically what everyone was kind of doing. We were just like, yeah, you know, let's dip our toe in that water and see how long it takes to get back to playing live. Because that's like what I love. Like that's the reward for me, is going to play the shows and the songs for people. And it lasted considerably longer than I think anybody expected.
Yep.
So as the album comes out in November of 2020, and we still can't play for people, and that comes out, and then like the winter happens, and we're like pushing it the best we can without playing and just online, and the year starts to turn to 2021, and I'm doing nothing. I'm sitting at home, like I can't work my job, which is booking tours for bands. So it's like I'm just sitting at home, like sucking on the government's tit, you know, like playing Skyrim and eating Hot Pockets, and you know, feeling kind of depressed because I couldn't do anything. And I felt kind of, I'm a person, I need to work. I need to be busy, productive. So I just started writing more songs. As the spring happens in 2021, I basically write another record. And this one, I was like, all new stuff, a little more focused on like, I didn't really know musically like what I wanted the band to sound like when we did the first album. Starting to get like a lane where I wanted the album to go and where I wanted the sound to go. So I was just like, hey guys, like should we just record another record, I guess? Everyone's like, all right, cool. So we just went back into the studio and recorded another record that next year. So it's like 2 years in a row just releasing and recording records. And then we put that one out, and then finally pandemic stuff starts to loosen up a bit, and we can go tour and play shows, and then we got busy. So it's kind of like where, that's 2021, 2022.
Yep. We
get invited, like I said, my brother's in Bowling for Soup, so and Jarrett again was the big push. So he's like, well, I made you do this, and I'm going to take you on tour, So it was great. I mean, that was a huge help.
Yeah.
So in 2022, we went on a tour with Bowling for Soup, Less Than Jake, and the Aquabats. And that was freaking amazing. Like, we were going from doing cool, like, local clubs and doing some smaller tours with, some friends in some bands that, and then we went to these, like, huge venues. And we were like, all right, I think we're pushing our second and first record together because we haven't even gotten to play the first record live before.
Right.
And then we just toured on those 2 albums for about 2 years. And then we went back and did another one in 2023. Toured a ton more, went to the UK on a headline tour. Went out with all those bands we listed before, Spill Canvas, Alien Ant Farm. Did some shows with tons of bands. This band Mest, Wheatus, Lit. Just like, a bunch of cool 90s bands and a lot of cool punk rock bands. And we just kind of spent those first 5-6 years kind of figuring out, like, what is this band musically, like, image-wise, like, just who are we, I think we are finally at our destination.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're finally kind of settled into everything.
I think so.
The third album was Setting Up to Fail.
Yep. Yes.
And so with this new album, For Your Consideration, that's 4 albums in 7 years. I think that's a pretty good average.
I'm told that. I don't really know, but I do get a lot of comments that they say, like, you guys are pretty prolific with your songwriting if you're putting out this much music.
Yeah.
Fine. That's great. We have ideas, and when it's time to put them out, we put them out. I don't really think about it in terms of, like, what we should do when, like, I just don't care about that stuff. If we have something to say, or if we have songs in us and we want people to hear them, we'll record them and we'll release them.
I think, obviously I talk to a lot of musicians. I see musicians, every week with the open mic and stuff like that. And I think one of the big things is a lot of people just overthink this stuff. You get told there's ways to do stuff. There's marketing, there's, release scheduling, and and especially now with social media, TikTok, Instagram, like, it's always just like, oh, you have to do this. Yeah, there's always people making videos on TikTok telling you what's your release, how do you do? I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. I really don't. If the songs are good and you're having a good time, then just do that. Like, don't worry about what you need to do. Like, if you're so focused on being successful, I feel like you'll never become successful, and it's never going to be genuine or real. Yeah.
And that's what people want. People want, just be you, be your thing, put it out, and people will like it. If they don't like it, who cares? Just keep doing you and being you, So I don't think, obviously you want to think about some stuff, and you want to kind of plan, and you want to have ideas that, what's the album art going to be like, or but again, that's all like creative stuff. And I think that's more important than all that other junk where it's just like, we have to plan our release to the T, and everything's got to be done this way and that way. I do certain things a certain way, but only because I have an extreme obsessive compulsive disorder, and I have to do things a certain way, or it'll drive me insane.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just do what you're happy to do. Like, that's all. If you have a good album, or if you have a good song, or if you're a good live band, like, that's all that matters. Like, that's what people just want to hear, cool stuff.
Even when you're, writing the songs themselves, I think a lot of people do a little bit of overthinking and kind of really spend way too much time. Like, I know some people who are like, they're very talented people, and they're just sitting on tons of great material. Yeah. And they just want to, because they want to tinker with it and tinker with it and tinker with it.
I can be guilty of that sometimes, but I think only because, and it could be the case for a lot of people, it's like, I just care so much.
Yes.
And I want
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I want it to be the thing that's in my head. I want it to
Right.
be exactly what you're hearing. And like when I'm writing a song, people do it all sorts of different ways. And I've learned that from writing with other people now. And everyone's got a different process. And for me, and a lot of times our guitar player, AJ, who does some of the writing now, I just hear the whole thing finished as I'm writing it. I hear like how the drums are going to go, and I hear and I do my best to get that thing out of here and onto there somehow. And I could see like when you do it and you get to the studio and you start recording and then you take it home and you listen to it and you're like, oh, but that thing isn't there still. And then you'll go back and you'll change it or you'll fix it and I'm also like I have such bad self-confidence when it comes to my own music. So I'll listen and be like, oh, that sucks. And I'll have to go back and I'll send it to 10 people. What do you think of this? What do you and I care so much about other people's input. And a lot of the times I get told, our drummer Anthony tells me all the time, just go with the first thought you had. Cause that's what you wanted to, like, that was like your initial feeling.
Yeah.
That's probably right. Cause a lot of times we'll record vocals and we'll finish a song and I'll listen and be like, I don't know if I like that chorus, and I'll go back to the studio and I'll re-sing a whole new chorus and I'll send it to everybody. And then Anthony always go, first one's always better. He's like, just go back to it. I'm telling you it's good. And I've started to trust that a little bit more, which again, that happened a lot on this album. Where it's like, I'm just going with my gut every time. And it's been pretty good so far, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. I mean, we just played that intro that took me how many months to make, and this was also an idea I had years ago that I wanted to do, and it just kind of sat, and I'm glad it finally is out there. But like,
I didn't hear it, but it sounds great.
I'm sure you'll love it when you see it later. At least I hope so, anyway. So how long are you working on this new batch of songs before you recorded them, and where did you record them?
So we recorded the new record at Sound Mine, which is in the Poconos, right in like East Stroudsburg area, which it's an amazing studio. Our buddy Dan Malsh owns it. He's an incredible engineer. It's also where our guitar player AJ works, and he is an engineer there as well. I mean, recently in the last few years, they've like recorded and or mixed like the new Ghost album, they did the Gojira album, Avenged Sevenfold, they did a new Bowling for Soup record there just recently.
Yeah, he's got a name for himself.
Yeah, that's the new Spill Canvas record that came out a couple years ago. I mean, Fuel, like they did so much stuff there. And so we're lucky. I've known Danny for 25 years. When I was back in my first band, you know, he recorded our albums, and so we went there and recorded, and it sounds fantastic. That's all AJ, our guitar player, honestly, did all the engineering and all the mixing, and he did an awesome job. As far as writing goes, this is the longest gap of releases. Like you said, we did 4 records in 7 years. The first 3 records were done in the first 4. So the last record came out in 2023. It's now 2026. So it's been about 3 years since the 2 releases. And I started writing, the very first song I started writing on this record, which is called Free, I wrote on a cruise ship in 2024.
Wow.
So it was 2 years ago plus. And the way I write is, I have an idea, either it's a vocal idea or a guitar idea or whatever it is, and I'll just pull up my phone and I'll hit record video, and I'll just like sit there and play it, and then I just leave it on the phone. I don't touch it, don't go back to it, nothing. Then after the course of however long, a year, 12, 16, 18 months, when we're like, all right, it's time to start recording our new record, I'll now go dig through my phone log of 50 song ideas, and I'll start to pull out the ones that I think are good. Then I'll learn how to play them again in my basement. I'll set up a little Focusrite, my laptop. I have like just GarageBand. Plug my guitar in the Focusrite and my Kemper, and I'll just play in the GarageBand. Track exactly the idea that I had on my phone. Sing over it, put some fake drums, send it to the band. And then everyone goes, all right, this one's cool, this one's not cool. I think this should change, that should change. We'll get together. We'll turn it into a song, and that's kind of like the process that we've had. I mean, sometimes I'll be in the shower and I'll come up with like a melody idea, or I'll be driving and I just, again, quick, grab my phone, record. So basically we've been writing these songs for about the last 2 years. Sometimes there's songs that we write while we're in the studio tracking the other songs. I'm like, oh, I just had this idea last night, and we'll, lay it down quick or whatever. But yeah, it's been about 2 years of writing with all this stuff.
Well, we have a little segment that we like to call the breakdown, where we go track by track on an artist's latest release to hear the inspiration and the stories behind each song.
Okay.
So this can be about the lyrics, the composition, the recording, all of it, whatever you think is maybe the most interesting aspect to talk about each song.
Okay.
So we'll go through all 10 songs on the new album.
All right.
And then you could tell us a little bit about each one, whatever you feel like. If you want to talk about the lyrics, you want to talk about, making it, however you want to look at it. So your fourth album, For Your Consideration, will be released on Friday, April 17th on all major streaming platforms.
Correct.
So let's get into it. The first one is Conscience.
Yeah. So Conscience, that one's been released as a single. That was the third single we put out. So this one, musically, I'm a huge fan of Bayside, the band, and another band, Jimmy Eat World. Those are two big influences on me musically, especially recently in the last couple years. And I was listening to some Jimmy Eat World records, and something about the intro where it's just like this one guitar kind of playing, and then I kind of come in with the vocals, and then like every piece of the music kind of builds from that. Starts off with a guitar, vocal, then like a weird drum sample, then the bass, and it kind of builds and builds and builds. We haven't really done something like that. There's a bunch of Jimmy Eat World songs that do that. And I was listening to there's one of their albums, I forget which one it was, Wasting Light maybe, and I was just like, that's such a cool concept musically. So I just started messing around with that concept, and it's a lot of songwriting is that, where you're pulling tricks out of other people's hats sometimes, and that's okay. I mean, you're using that stuff as inspiration and then creating your own thing, which is like anything, comic book or a video or a movie. So many movies.
I mean, we are our influences.
Correct,
really,
exactly, and that's what we are. I think trying to find that right balance of being yourself while drawing from the things that created what you are is like, that's a lot about what making your records all about. This song lyrically is like a almost like a question of yourself asking, like, are you wanting more than what you have? And that could be in a relationship, it could be with your job, it could be with any aspect of your life. Or am I doing the things that make me happy? And if I'm not doing those things, is it because of me? And like, am I lacking the ability, or am I lacking the conscience to hold myself accountable for whatever lane that is? That's kind of like where the lyrics came from on that one. I was, am I happy? And if I'm not happy, is it my own fault? And that's kind of, that one is.
Next up, we have Lifetime Away.
Yeah. So this one, musically, I would say inspiration-wise, especially the intro and the chorus, very big influenced by a local Scranton band called the Menzingers. I was listening to their After the Party record, and what was the one after it? Hello Exile, and I just like that they have this kind of beat they're always doing, and I was like, I want to kind of have that, like, we could hop and do this thing. And so I kind of wrote the intro to the song to kind of get like that vibe. And then when we started doing the lyrics, I was thinking about what things were like before, when I was starting out in the band, and all like the trials and tribulations of learning your way. Like, your first band is like high school, and your second band's like college, and like you're learning how to do the thing the right way, like we were saying earlier about education. And so it was just kind of like, this is how stuff was, and that was a lifetime ago, kind of, is like the concept. Was it for better or for worse? Sometimes you look at stuff with rose-colored glasses, and you're saying like, yeah, stuff was so good, and then you think about it, and you're like, nah, was it? You know? And I think that's something that I think culture in general has kind of overdone in the last few years, is like this nostalgia porn. You know, everyone's just obsessed with remember this, remember that. Like even bands are doing it a lot, and I understand it, but at the same time, it's always just like, remember what bands were like in 2000? Like, well, check us out, we're like that. And it's like, is that really the message you want to give? Like,
right,
we are what you used to like when you were 20 years younger. And it's just like, that's fun, but if someone wants to listen to Newfound Glory, they'll just listen to Newfound Glory. If you want to be a new thing, be you, be yourself, be that new thing. Like, you don't have to sell yourself on nostalgia. And especially, hey, I'm 42. I just turned 42, and a lot of the album for me is a retrospective and an introspective about being in my 40s and the guys and all of us being in our late 30s playing in a band, and you were in an industry that definitely overvalues being young, being new, or trying to be what you were when you were young and new. And it's like, I don't want to be that. So that's kind of like what a lot of these songs and lyrics kind of touch on, like this one.
Well, you should have the answer to everything now, because 42 is the
It's the answer
right?
to life.
Yeah.
It's a meaning. I do. I know everything. You can ask anyone who knows me.
And if you don't get that reference, then you don't get the reference that the band is named after.
Correct. Yes.
But yeah, you know, it's that I always thought it was funny too, you know, speaking on the nostalgia and stuff aspect of things. Now you have these guys who, you know, were writing a lot of songs when they were younger about, you know, being kids and being drunk and high and stupid,
sure,
and
yeah,
whatever stuff. And I've always thought, you know, like, and that's fine. We all maybe still like those songs and enjoy that kind of stuff, but like, do you want to be out there as a full-grown adult with like three kids and a wife at home and everything else, like singing those songs again for the upteenth time? Like,
yeah, it's tough. I mean, like,
it seems kind of like goofy to me.
Yeah, and I mean, and it can be. I think if the way you do it is important. I mean, you know, you have bands that are like Bowling for Soup or Blink-182 who are singing about high school, or
yes,
you know, and it's like, hey, like those songs mean something to people, and they touch like a part of something to you that makes you think about that stuff, and that's a different aspect to me than nostalgia, where we're trying to like live that now, as opposed to like, I'm gonna listen to this thing, it's gonna make me feel that way that I felt, and I understand, I remember how I felt when I was a high school kid. I remember, versus like, I want to be this all the time, kind of like our music is gonna be like that music. Right.
Yeah, like I wouldn't criticize those bands for obviously playing the music
and the song that people
like
want to hear.
Yeah, and it's the stuff that, exactly. You're not going to not play the songs that people want to hear.
But those bands are also not writing new songs about that content.
Yes, like I hope they would have.
Yeah, they're in their 50s. It's like they're not going to sing about how, you know, high school, or, you know, being at the Warped Tour when I was 15. It's about what am I going through now,
right?
And that way, because the people who listen to you grew with you, so they feel that way too. What's going on now?
Right, like when Green Day came out with American Idiot, like that made sense.
Correct. Yeah.
It was like, okay,
this is what I'm going through right now in my age. So,
right.
You know.
So next up is this was the first single, I believe. Honest.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Honest, which really, really luckily for us and is cool, has been like probably the most popular song I think we've released. In terms of from when it was released till this point, it's got a lot of attention and people really like it, which is great. And I really like that song a lot. It might be my favorite song of ours. That one, I don't even know how I wrote it. It was like a melody that I was brushing my teeth or something. I was doing something very mundane.
Yeah.
And the melody went in my head, was da 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 da, and I was like, what is that? And I was like, it felt like it was something, and I was like trying to remember. I was like, I don't know what this is. So I went in my basement and I started just singing it, finding the chords where what chords belonged under it, you know. And I recorded it on my computer, and I called up AJ and I was like, hey, I got a song idea. I'm gonna come to your house and like I'm gonna show it to you. And I played him the song. And he's like, that's so weird. Because this is one of the first new songs that I'd written. that I was actually fleshing out. And he's like, I started writing a song, and it sounds exactly like that. And we had not talked about this at all. We hadn't talked about new music for 2 years. And then he played me his song, and it was like the same exact vibe, which is another song on the album. And I was like, all right, well, then this is meant to be. Like, this is like the direction our music is going. So musically, this one is like the most where I want to be. Lyrically, it's just about, you and your relationship. Again, it's every lyric I write, I try and keep it personal to me, but vague so that it could be personal to you. So I don't ever get too specific about any concept in a song, because I want anyone who listens to go, oh, you're writing about this thing for me. Even then they don't, and people always message me, be like, is this song about, this kind of thing? And it's like, no, it's like whatever it's about for you when you listen to it, that's what the song's about. And this one it's just asking that question, like, if we're having an issue, or if I need you, are you going to be honest with me about whatever that might be? Could be, tell me the hard truth if that's what I need to hear, or can I count on you? It's like kind of like that vibe. Can I count on you to be honest, regardless of what that's about? That's that one there.
Something anybody can relate to.
Hopefully.
Save Ben Riley is up next.
Okay. So this is one of the first songs that AJ wrote all the music to, our guitar player. Typically, I usually write all the songs. On every record we've done, our drummer Anthony has written one of the songs. That's like a song idea he brings to me, and usually I like what he has. So me and him have a very similar taste in music. AJ, less similar taste in music, but funny enough, this song idea is more the kind of music I would listen to when I was younger. It was like a fast kind of punk rock song. He played it for me, and I was like, hey, that's really cool. Like, let's do something with it. So he just gave me the music, and then I wrote the melodies and the vocals over it, which was one of the first times we've done that as a band, where just like someone else just like, here's a song idea. I don't have anything like vocally. He was like, yeah, I have some ideas, but I was just like, well, just let me mess with it. And then if we like what I did, then let's just go with that. So, I had some melody ideas when he was playing it for me, and it's got like kind of like Alkaline Trio kind of vibe in the chorus. And, the rest of the song is very like No Use for a Name, like old school 90s punk rock music, which is like what I grew up on.
Yeah. And
I needed a name, like the way that I was singing the chorus, sometimes I'll be like writing a melody and I'll use gibberish. Blah, 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 blah. Like there's something. But sometimes I'll just get like a consonant or a sound, and I want that sound to be the thing. So then I'll find a word that kind of works in there. And I was watching, I forget what I was watching, some Marvel thing, Spider-Man, and one of the characters in Spider-Man, who's like another version of him, Ben Riley. So I was like, all right, Ben, I like Ben, that's cool. So I just said, and I wanted it to be Save something. It was Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and they said Save Ferris, Yeah. So I was like, Save Ben, Save Ben Riley. So that's kind of like where the title came from on that one.
I was curious. I was waiting. I'm like, it's got to be a Spider-Man reference.
Yeah.
No
I'm a
Ben Riley is not
huge comic book nerd.
Yeah.
Ever since I was little, I used to buy comic books all the time in the 90s, and I was big into like all the Marvel cards and stuff. So I'm huge into that stuff. So it's cool. And Anthony, same, our drummer, he's got collection of all the toys and everything in his house. Yeah. So it was kind of cool to just add a little something in there for us. We're big pop culture nerds at the end of the day. We love Star Wars and Ninja Turtles and Marvel and DC and all that stuff. So I like to incorporate it when I can.
We do too, obviously.
Yeah, I could see that. You can't see it in the studio really, but there's toys everywhere.
Yeah. If you want to put there we go.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm a big fan.
So all the case that's over there with all the figures in it, Jason, who you met earlier, is our photographer. He hand painted all those.
Oh wow, those are all DC guys. It looks like.
Yeah, he's more of a DC guy. I'm more of a Marvel guy.
Same. More Marvel.
We're both.
It's all cool.
Yeah, I mean, he likes Marvel too, but I think he leans just a little bit more on.
That's
DC
okay.
side,
That's all right.
You know.
Tell us your favorites in the chat.
Yeah. There you go.
DC or Marvel?
Yeah. Are you a Ben Reilly guy? Were you big in the Clone Saga, or was that because that was very divisive when that story came out?
Sure was.
But I think in retrospect, a lot of people like it. When it was happening, it was I think it was, and it's funny. I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day. When the Clone Saga was happening, I think people just got sick of it because it just dragged on and on and on. It just went on.
Comic books tend to do that a lot.
Yeah. When they find something that hits sales wise, especially with at the time, Marvel was not in the best shape financially. So when they had a hit, they would milk it to death. And people could argue that maybe that's what they're doing with some of the movies now. But
sure,
I still enjoy it. But
I like it too. It's fun,
Yeah, I still get a kick out of it. But the comics at the time were definitely I think that story was dragged out. But in retrospect, looking back on it, we're like, yeah, you know what? The character was cool. The costume was cool. A lot of aspects of it were cool. If you were to just put it maybe in a movie form or something, it would be a lot better. Like if you kept it into one thing and didn't make us buy 5 different books every month to get the whole story, like that sort of thing.
That's what everyone does with everything. They just make it as much money as they possibly can.
So next up we have One and Done.
Well, so One and Done was the song contribution of Anthony, our drummer.
Okay.
Like I said, every album he usually has a song idea. He came over to my house and he had a couple of song ideas that he had locked up on his phone, and he sat there with an acoustic guitar and he played them for me. So I was just like, I plugged them into my little laptop setup and I had him play. And of the songs he had there, I liked this one the most. And I was just like, let me mess with this and I'll come back to you, So he went home. I messed with it a bunch, made some changes. I brought it to AJ's house and me and him messed with it together. It's certainly taken some twists and turns from Anthony's original concept, but it's still the bones are his song. So musically, again, a little something I wouldn't typically do writing style wise. Like it's funny because whenever we're doing a record, I'll show AJ or Anthony a song and they'll be like, they'll know exactly what's going to happen in the song because they just know how I write. So I'll do a chord or a part and AJ's like, yeah, I knew that was going to come, So it's kind of cool when the other guys have some ideas because now we're doing some stuff that we wouldn't typically do and we're going down some different lanes. So this one's a little different. It's got a really different bridge that I would never have thought of, just a guitar, harmonizing guitar parts and stuff. I mean, Anthony's a big Thin Lizzy fan. Loves that kind of, in this band White Reaper. So he loves that kind of like harmonizing guitar lines and AJ's a great guitar player, so it works out really nice. And so this one lyrically, it's about, again, vague, but just making like a change in your life and having done something and saying like, I tried this one time and like, I'm not going to do that anymore. So it's like, some people do whatever that might be and you kind of be like, man, that wasn't for me. And that's kind of like the vibe of that one.
And next up we have Calls from Home.
Okay, this one, AJ, was the other AJ song that he had brought that sounded like Honest. When I played him Honest, he played me this one. And me and him have both been on a big Bryan Adams kick over the last couple of years. So you could see that I am getting older. And he played the music for me and I was like, man, that music is awesome. It was like very like Jimmy Eat World meets like Bryan Adams. And I was like, this is cool. So he was like, I've got some vocal ideas. The same thing. I was like, I don't want to hear him. Not that I don't want to hear him. It's like, I don't want it to like kind of influence what my brain's doing right now kind of thing. I took the song home, started to like mess with some melody ideas. I just didn't have lyrics. And sometimes I need lyrics to like really solidify how the melodies are going to go. And then right around this time was like the spring of last year. So like April, my grandmother passed away and she was old. She was 96, 97. So she was, she's been around a long time. And, I went to her funeral, which was in Bayside where I'm from, Queens. And, my cousin Kevin was getting married that week, and he lives in Arizona. So essentially, I drove out to Queens, went to my grandmother's funeral, then got on a plane and flew to Arizona. My whole family did. And this was the very first wedding in my family that my grandmother was not attending. So I was like on the plane. I was going a little early by myself because I was part of the bachelor like party and all this kind of stuff too. I was a groomsman. And as I was on the plane, I was kind of like thinking about that fact, like, this kind of stinks.
Yeah.
And then my cousin, on top of that, he lost both his mom and his dad, essentially in his 20s, and maybe like early 20s and late 20s, maybe early 30s at the latest. Maybe lost his dad, but then I was thinking like, he's having a wedding. My grandma's not going to be there. His mom's not going to be there. His dad's not going to be there. So I was like, started to think about all that, and I was like, kind of getting overwhelmed emotionally, and I was like, started to write just what I was thinking and feeling down on the plane. It was a long flight. Got to the wedding, had a great time, flew home. And when I got home, I like kind of looked at this notepad, I wrote all the stuff down. I was like, I think this is the lyrics for this song. Like vibe wise, I was like, this kind of gets the point across. I don't know, when you listen to music, a lot of times you kind of feel like, what is this song about just from the feel of the music, So I just sat and I started to fit the words into the parts, and that one's just about, the lyrics are very specific for me on this one, which is, I don't usually do, but it's just about losing my uncle, losing my aunt, losing my grandmother. And then again, for anyone who's listening, losing someone important to you, and how to, obviously keep in mind that all the people around you are here for a very limited time, and to kind of cherish that time with them. So that's that one. A little sappy, but
hey, you need that.
Yeah, gotta get it out somehow, and this is what I'm doing this for.
Right. And then next up we have Free.
Free is the first song that I technically wrote on this album. Like I said, I wrote it on a cruise ship. I was with my brother. We were sharing a cabin in the ship, and we both had our guitars, and we were writing songs for another thing on the boat. And I just had this idea, and I was just like, started playing it and singing it. I didn't, again, blah, 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 put it on my phone, never thought about it for 2 years. Came time to start writing, and I pulled it out, and I was like, this one is like a little more rock for us, a little more like grungy almost. And it's like, I'm a huge Foo Fighters fan. Like, it's my favorite band in the world. And if you listen to our first EP, which came out like 2009, like, yeah, I'm a Foo Fighters fan. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like B-sides of a Foo Fighters record. Probably a little too much. But I started to put this one together, and was like, just leaned into it. I was like, I love this music, and this is the kind of music I love playing. And it's a little fat, a little heavier, a little more rock. But it is what it is, and I think it's great. Musically, it's like that. Vocally, the story is just about a girl who's kind of at her breaking point and just needs to get the hell out of the position she's in. I'm trying to break free of whatever's chaining her down. I had a discussion about Tom Petty's song American Girl and why it resonates so much with a lot of women. And they said when you listen to the lyrics, it just captures how you feel as a girl sometimes. I was like, I'm not a girl, so I was like, I don't understand that position, but I love it. So I wanted to try and replicate that somehow myself. So I was like, what does it feel like to be stuck and think that way? And like, how so it's the concept is just like breaking free. And again, it doesn't have to be a woman, obviously, but that's like the mindset I came from. So that was that one. Hopefully that succeeded. I don't know.
Well, the ladies can tell you.
Yeah, I guess when they hear it, they could tell me if I fucked it up or not.
We have a few more. Ready to Fly.
Ready to Fly is, so another big influence on me musically is Billy Joel. I'm a massive Billy Joel fan. So is our drummer Anthony. We're huge into Billy Joel. And I always, actually, so last year HBO put out a 2-part docu movie thing on Billy Joel. Watched the whole thing. I loved it. And as I was watching it, I was just like, you know, I get like that. I get in like my phases where I just listen to an artist nonstop. And that was my Billy Joel month. You know, I just put on Billy Joel albums and listen to it all the time. I was like, it'd be really cool to write like a pop rock, pop punk Billy Joel song, you know? So I just like literally just, again, like I said, I'm kind of borrowing and pulling from stuff that influences me. So
so does Billy Joel.
yeah, you know, he talks about that all the time, like how, you know, this is just a Beatles song. This is just, and he'll just say that outright, and I'm saying this outright, like this is a Billy Joel song that's just played by me and my band. Specifically, I was listening to the record Turnstiles, which is one of my favorites of his, and very influenced by that one. And so I did what I could to kind of just make that vibe happen in that song musically. And then lyrically, this one was, I was on a flight on my way to London this past December. I was going to go to Wembley. My brother's band was headlining Wembley. And I really wanted to see it. I mean, it was like a really big milestone for my family, essentially. I mean, I started me playing music with him when we were kids. So I was like, this is really cool. You know, I'll have to go and be a part of this. So on the flight out there, I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, you know what? Like, this sucks. Like, I'm really jealous. I'm going, but I'm not going for me. I am going for us, but I'm not going for me. I'm going to see him. So I just wrote down those thoughts. It's like, I'm doing all this right now just to go be jealous for 2 hours and then fly home. But so that's what that song's about. It's just like, and it's like me saying like, all right, I'm ready for this thing now. Like, I feel like like I said at the beginning, it took us multiple years to find where we are supposed to be. And I think this record is where we're supposed to be. And then that's basically me saying I'm ready to do it. Like, this is it. We're here. So that's that one.
And then we have Silent Engineer.
This is the third song AJ wrote on this album. So he got 3 out of 10, that's a lot.
Wow,
I let the reins go pretty hard on this record. And AJ's a big like story of the year fan. He's like big into that kind of music. And that's the kind of the vibe I got from this musically. Again, this was one where he just like, he's like, I have this idea. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. Here's the music. So I listened to it and I was like, this is really cool. I like it a lot. It's got some Bayside vibes, which is like, again, one of my favorites. And so I was like, let me sit with it and mess with it. This one, we definitely butted heads a little bit musically, where I had some changes I wanted to make and he didn't want to make them. So, you know, it's hard when you have a song and you're writing it and you're like, this is my thought. This is my vision. Like I said earlier, this is the thing I took out of my head and I put it onto the tape. This is what it has to be. And something I've learned in the last couple of years, especially, was that sometimes it's okay just to kind of let go and let something change from someone else and see what other maybe there's things that you're not thinking about that would really improve the thing that you have, and you have to be open to that. I did this big songwriting thing last year or 2 years ago, and with a couple of people. It was like the bass player from Gin Blossoms, Sister Hazel, and the singer from Verve Pipe, and like some other band members. Like we wrote a record together, like this like weird experience, but it was really cool to be a part of it. Where it was just like 6 of us got in a room and we had 3 days to write a record. And
this is like a reality show?
Almost, but it was on a cruise ship. That's why I was on the cruise ship.
Okay.
We had to do this album, and then we had to perform this album live on another cruise.
Interesting.
Yeah, and when I was doing that, I walked in, I had my song ideas, and then you had to literally just be like, okay, you guys mess with this now. Mm-hmm. And you have to learn how to kind of like let it go all sorts of crazy directions. And that was tough at first. And after doing it, I kind of learned how to do that a little more. And I did that a lot on this album. And then I was trying to have AJ and Anthony kind of do the same thing. It's like, just throw this out there to us and trust us to put this in the direction that'll make it even better. Because maybe you're not thinking of an idea that will be good. And that's, you know, we butted heads and then we found compromises in certain parts. Like, let's try this, let's try that. And then I think it turned out great. So this one is, the lyrics were just about kind of questioning, are things better or is it too late to change things? And then again, vague. You could kind of apply that however you want. My application was more of a general zeitgeist of America. Honestly, where it's just like, hey, like everyone is so caught up in each like their own thought processes and views, and like, are we past the point of finding common ground on stuff?
Yeah,
I'm hoping not, and that's kind of like what the song's about.
And then to close it out, we have Blame It on the Rain.
This is not a Milli Vanilli cover, so that's to start things off.
Damn.
Yeah, I was told that that's a Milli Vanilli song. I didn't know. And then I was like, oh, well, that's fine. We're going to lip sync on it too, so it'll be fine. This one, I wanted to do a thing where we start the song off one way and end it another. So the song's very different in the beginning than it is at the end, where it just has like a total turnaround right after the first bit of it. And the first bit of it's got this like Color in the Shape, Foo Fighters, like slow, acoustic, soft beginning, and then it cuts into this like really fast, like kind of almost Green Day rock and roll like second half. I'm trying to go for like that. American Idiot has a lot of that kind of performative Broadway style kind of things where it's like this song kind of takes left and right turns, and that's kind of this one was. It started off way different. It started off almost like a country song, honestly. And I played it for AJ, and he's like, "That's a country song. Like, you can't put that out." I was like, "All right, well, let's. I like the chorus and the melody and stuff, so let's just kind of mess with it." And that's kind of where we landed on it. It felt like a good album closer too. It's got our sound, but it's also got this like cool, different vibe to it, and it. I don't know.
I feel like a lot of bands will take that chance with that last song.
Yeah,
like,
you figure the least people are going to listen to that one.
Right,
if they make it to the end of the album, great.
Right.
But if they don't, that's all right too. So if they miss it, it's not the end of the world.
They must be a big fan, so maybe they'll be a little more forgiving
open
if it's different.
Yeah. But I think it is a really cool song. So do listen to the whole record to get to it.
Okay. So I saw this is coming out through Smart Punk Records.
Yes. Yeah.
So how is that working with them?
Great. So they've always been a album and CD distro for as long as I've been playing.
Yeah, they've been around a long
25
time.
plus years, and our friends put out some records through them, and they do a lot of vinyl reissues for a lot of other bands. And I wanted to reissue our first album on vinyl because we'd only made 100 of them. We didn't know how vinyl was going to sell, and we sold out of those really quick years ago. But like you said, we put out so many albums. I didn't really have the money to invest in repressing a record that might not sell a bunch more. So, but all these people kept begging us, please put the album out on vinyl. Like, we never got a chance to get it. It went away quick. So I hit up the Smart Punk guys and I was like, hey, like, we have a lot of requests for this record. Would you like to reissue it? And they checked out the band, and they're like, yeah, let's give it a try. So they put it out, and we sold out of them. I think we have like 50 left. They made 500. So I was like, oh, great. So people liked it, and it was good. So when it was time to start talking about this record, I hit them up again, and I was like, hey, do you guys just want to release the vinyl of this album right from the start? And they're like, yeah, we do. And, the last one sold great. So they were just really easy. I just, talked to them on the phone, and they dug the band, and they liked the album, and they're just like, let's do it. So they put out, they're putting it out on vinyl. And then we're just distroing online through the Orchard, which is like a distribution company that does, it's kind of like, it's like who Sony uses to distribute their stuff on Spotify and all that stuff. And then we just did the CDs ourselves. We just pressed them at a disc makers in New Jersey, and CDs. It was funny. It's the way that everything shifts. CDs when this band started in 2008. That was the gold standard. You had to sell CDs,
right?
And that's like the record sales. Like a platinum album's 1,000 or 1,000,000 CDs, and so it's like coming back in 2019 and no one's like, I don't want a CD. It's like, oh, how do you sell your music? And I was like, you don't. You just give it away for free on Spotify.
All right.
Cool. That's great. That's like a huge revenue stream gone from touring bands, which is already tough. Yep. But then vinyl kind of came back in vogue, and people like to play it, and they like to put it on their wall. So vinyl's like the new thing. So we pressed more vinyl than we did CDs this time, which is cool. So we do have a CD, but I always joke on stage, it's like a glorified coaster, you know? If you want it, you can have it. If you don't, that's cool too. I have a CD player in my car. I put the CD in our van CD player as I was driving to like test it out, and it ate it, and now it's stuck in there. So, but you know, we've got the vinyl too, and Smart Punk was excited to do it, so we're very thankful to them. And they did like a cool variant design that's got like awesome splatter color, and the normal vinyl is like a cool red. So it's pretty exciting. I'm stoked about it.
I've heard that CDs are making a comeback.
I'm sure everything's just going to keep.
So we'll see. Yeah.
Yes,
we'll
and
see.
then tapes, and then the 8-track, and then it'll circle back around to nothing, and then we'll just keep doing it over and over again.
Right, exactly.
Maybe download cards will come back.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There was when they had the flash drives they were trying to sell people.
Yep.
It'll all come back around.
So tell us about the title and the album artwork on this one. I'll put it up on the screen so people can see the
cool. The
artwork
album artwork was a drawing that I made. I'm not a good artist, so I drew. I didn't know where it was in my brain, but the idea, like I've gotten into David Lynch stuff over the last couple of years, and we went to see some David Lynch movies at the drive-in Mahoning. Maybe it's a Mahoning. Yeah, I think Mahoning Drive-In. They do like a David Lynch day every 2 years. And he had done a movie with Laura Dern that I don't think is very good. I think it's called Inland Empire.
Inland Empire, yes.
And he's already hard to watch, in my opinion. Like, he's got some cool stuff, but that one is like, I can't watch that movie.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan either.
But he thought she was fantastic in it. So when it came time for the normal pat ourselves on the back time, Hollywood does all the awards and stuff. Usually do like a 4-year consideration. We think this thing is great, that thing is great. They'll do ads or do whatever. So what he did was he like got a cow and like a big sign that said for your consideration, and like sat in Hollywood Boulevard and was just like sitting with the cow, like trying to get people to like consider her for this. And it's just, I thought it was funny and weird. And then I thought about it, and it's like, he cared so much about it that he like did all this stuff. And it's like, I felt the same way about this album. So I was like, that's kind of where I got the idea. It's like, for your consideration, like, this record's great. Like, check it out. Like, I think it's really good. And I'm pretty self-deprecating. So for me to say it means I think it is really good. The art was, I drew it. This isn't the exact drawing I did. I kind of plugged it in and had it got improved. And then I used that. But the drawing's very similar. And I didn't know where it came from. And then the singer of my old band from Split 50 texted me, and he saw the artwork. He's like, you know where that's from? And I was like, no, actually. It was in my head. And he's like, that was something very similar was going to be the art that we had discussed for the final album that the old band was going to put out. And it was like kind of in my brain somewhere. I didn't even know. Yeah. I guess I just always thought it was cool and just never got used. So I kind of just did it. So, yeah.
It's funny how that stuff
sometimes it goes in your head and you just don't even know it. It's there.
So obviously one of the major developments in the music industry in the last few years that wasn't even a discussion back when we did our other interview, but now is the use of AI, both in artwork and merch and even making the music itself now.
Full bands.
So like, what is your stance or your take on that? Or like, how do you look at it?
I am not by any means a purist, but I'm also not for it at the same time. I think any part of your music being made by AI is a no-go for me.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
As far as the music goes, like, you're a musician, like, just make your goddamn music. Like, this is what you're supposed to be good at. Or at least this is what you're supposed to be focusing on and doing.
Sure.
And then when it comes to other aspects, I take a lighter stance. But not for the people whose that's their craft. So for instance, if you're a graphic designer or an artist, you shouldn't be using it. Like, this is your thing.
Right.
The unfortunate truth is a lot of bands are now expected to do everything. Yes. We're not just the band anymore. We're not just the guy playing the guitar or singing. I'm my own marketing person. I'm my own graphic designer. I'm my own video maker. I do my own TikToks. I have to do all the financing. I'm the accountant. I'm the bus driver. I do everything. I'm the tour plan. So it's like, there's a certain amount of bandwidth you have as a person where you're like, how much of my effort and time am I going to take away from the craft that I'm doing to pay attention to all this other stuff? And when it comes to hiring an artist, when you can, by all means, please do. Please pay a guy to draw your t-shirt. Please pay a person. But sometimes, especially when you're bands that are small and don't have budgets, what are you supposed to do? You don't have $1,000 to pay for a guy to draw your new t-shirt. Some bands resort to using AI or some sort of version of that, generative fill stuff on Photoshop. And I think to an extent that can be excused. Our rule is, if it's something that we're selling to you, then we will not use AI. So if it's a t-shirt, or if it's a sticker, or if it's a poster, or if it's a thing that you're going to give us money for, we'll make sure that something is being created by somebody. If I'm making a show flyer for like a show down the street for one day, I think it's okay to an extent. If you came up with the idea and you kind of assembled it in Photoshop, but you needed that picture of some kid holding a sign, and you can't find it anywhere, and you can't afford to pay someone $500 to draw something for your show flyer, but you really wanted this, I think it's excusable to an extent.
Yeah.
Or if you're just making some stupid little single art that you're just like, I used it on a single art that we put out because it's just like, this is going to be up for a month and then it's getting replaced by the album. And I'm just not going to pay someone $500 to have something that's going to be there for a couple weeks. It's just not feasible. I would love to pay. I've spent so much money on artists doing our merch and artists doing our albums. I mean, that's why I did my own album this time, because I can't afford it. It's too expensive. Everything's too expensive right now.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to your craft, don't touch AI with a 10-foot pole. If it comes to things that are insignificant or not a big deal, I think everyone needs to kind of again, if it's not for sale, people using it to make silly memes and like, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. I understand the complaint that it's like using up resources and all these huge facilities and water, and it's really screwing the environment. That is not going to stop it from occurring, unfortunately. We ruin the environment to make this. We ruin the environment to kill people for oil. There's so many things that we're ruining the environment for, that like that technology will tighten up. Yeah. Just like computers aren't the size of this room anymore. They're this big. So it's like that technology, the more demand has, the cleaner it's going to get, the tighter it's going to get. So I don't think that's even the driving factor for me as far as like, it's an argument to have right now, but that's not going to be a permanent one, I think. I think that stuff is going to kind of course correct itself. I think it's more about the moralistic aspect of it, where it's like, do you want robot art? Like, do you want something that's created by a human being who's like trying to show you a shared human experience, or whatever it is? So that's why, again, as a musician, I could never use it to like write a song, or God forbid, create bands that are just straight up top to bottom AI, like that Spotify just clearly used so they don't have to pay anybody. So it's like, I'm not, and so I'm like a 60-40, 70-30 person on it.
Oh, that's a very reasonable take. So you should be hung for it.
Yes, correct. That's what should happen. So roast me in the comments.
Speaking of the rising costs of things, so as a guy who is on the booking agent end of things, and also as a band who wants to tour and go out there and do things, and has been doing that for many years, how realistic is it for independent small bands right now to go out on tour? How it had with the rising costs of everything, especially fuel and everything else?
I mean, man, gas is tough. I was driving here on the way here. I saw diesel was $6.20 a gallon or something. Yeah, it's like, if you're in a tour bus, like diesel, you're paying $1 a mile. It's a lot of money.
It's insane.
It's a lot of money when you're on tour.
Yeah.
What really frustrates me is that for some reason everything has gone up in price, be it a bottle of water or gas or your subscription on Netflix every month. or everything else that goes up. But for some reason, clubs, bars, venues, they all decide that bands could still get paid the same amount of money they made 25 years ago. Where they go, we'll pay you guys, you want to come play at our bar? We got $150 for you for the night. It's like $150 was great in 1998. It's not good now.
Right.
I spend $40 in gas to drive back and forth here to Scranton.
Yeah.
And it's like, that aspect has to change. I think people need to understand, and I think a lot of concert goers, especially when it comes to smaller shows, like a show we're going to play or headline, that $20 is like what you're going to pay to see a show.
Yeah.
The $5, $10 ticket days, those are over. It's just not sustainable or feasible.
Yeah.
And now there's obviously a cap to that where people are paying $1,500, $2,000 to go see Taylor Swift, and that's ridiculous too. Sure. And that kind of screws the middle ground. But I think like $20 to $40 for a concert, that's just the price. And I think bands need to get paid a little bit better to be able to afford and sustain going on tour and playing shows. I think it's really tough right now. It's really hard. Hotels are more expensive. Food is more expensive. Gas is more expensive, but we're getting paid the same. And for people, not even to make a profit, who just want to get out there and just do it, it's still becoming very tough. So I would say to anybody watching, if you're going to go to a show, please buy bands merch, because you don't get paid on your music and you barely get paid by the club. So it's like the only way bands are paying their bills and eating dinner.
Yeah, absolutely. Because people tell, because I always tell people I'm not a Spotify guy. I don't like them. I don't like the quality. I don't like streaming in general. I like to own the CD, and I like to copy it like old school, like MP3s, put it on my drive and put it in my computer or my car and drive around. And they're like, well, but you're taking away money from the streaming aspect of things. I'm like, oh yeah, that few cents is really making a difference.
0.003 cents.
I bought the album, and then when I see them live, I always buy merch.
Yeah,
I always buy a shirt, always buy something. I think that's the way to do it.
As a band with 1 million streams, you get $3,000.
Yeah, like that's a joke.
Yeah, and I mean, you're not going to listen to our music 1 million times.
Right.
So I'd rather you just buy our CD for $10, and that helps way more.
Absolutely.
I could sell 300 CDs, and that's my $3,000. That's way better.
So is the at least for the time being, is it better to just kind of do these small runs of a couple of shows?
A lot of bands have shifted to that. A lot of bands are doing 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. I think it's just like the new model right now. People are not going to be away from home that long.
That's what I've seen, yeah.
And you just do tour legs. We do the first legs 2 weeks. Second, then we do a month later. We'll do 2 more weeks. I think that's just what it's going to be for now. Bands are starting to learn they don't have to be out on tour for 90 days in a row. And it keeps costs down too.
And being working as a booking agent from that side of things, what has that given you a different perspective as a musician that maybe some other musicians might not be able to see? Because they're not looking at it from that side. Yeah,
and it's doing what I do for a living, I just kind of get like the behind the scenes thing, but that also makes me have the argument more that bands should get paid more, just because I see what the venues are charging and what they want. They want to cover all their bills before they pay people all the time. It's like, hey, we have bills too.
Yeah.
And we're doing everyone's sharing risk, and everyone should be sharing reward. And the venue's getting their bar and they're getting all their stuff. So and it's hard to keep the lights on. Venues close, and I get it. But there's no one coming to your venue if there's not a band there. So everyone's got to kind of work together to keep this thing rolling.
So in the, as we mentioned earlier, in the last few years, you guys have toured with a lot of really cool bands. Bowling for Soup, Less Than Jake, The Ataris, Alien Ant Farm, Spill Canvas, Mess, Weedus, Dolly Rots, Keep Flying, we've had on the show here.
Oh, great.
And Secondhand Serenade. Yep. Lots of really, any personal highlights for you, or any your favorite tour stories that you like to tell the last couple of years?
So many. I mean, just being on, anytime we're on tour, Bowling for Soup's the best, because they're all like our family. The shows are always huge, and it's just a great time. The crowds love it. They're very welcoming, so they're always our favorite band to tour with, hands down. We make great friends, the guys in Weedus, and touring with them is always so much fun. The singer Brendan always takes great care of us. He's always buying us dinner, that kind of stuff. it's hard to even remember specific shows and tours just because there's so many of them that are so fun. I think the stuff I remember the most is just getting to open for bands that I listened to growing up, where it's like we did a show with Lit, and I was just like, I loved Lit when I was younger. So it's cool watching them. Or we opened for Face to Face, which was one of my favorite bands as a kid. And just like making friends with these bands and playing with them is just, it's wild. So the only time, I would just say every time we tour and the bands are cool and we're friends is like the highlights. Every time we get to hang out and do our thing together.
Lit's super underrated.
They're great, man. They have
some
a bunch of great albums.
I know. Yeah, I know. They're very known, I think, publicly for the one hit, but
they have a lot of songs that are better than that one too.
They have a lot of fun songs.
I do have to pee really quick. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, it's totally fine.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's fine.
I want to focus. All right,
that's why we got the.
You got the beer.
Yeah, the beer kills everybody. That's thing. But yeah, so I mean, while we're hanging out, Summer, you have any thoughts? Anything you want to add to the conversation? Anything you want to ask Ted while we're here?
No, we kind of covered.
All right.
Quite a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think we're covering a lot. So we're gonna jump into those comments as well very very soon. I'm almost done with my side of the questions, but we should definitely check them out. Make sure everybody is having a good time. Like I said, if you guys have any questions or comments for Ted, we would love to hear from you down below. So now's the time, more than anything. We'll have him ready for when he comes back here. Let's see. Anything that you saw that was interesting?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Toward the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Quincy, Terry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hi, buddy.
Yeah, Joe Quincy will be on the show soon. We're working that out because he just did a solo album, but he had a whole bunch of guests on there. So I thought it'd be fun to have him on the show, as well as a bunch of some of the guests that he had on his album, as kind of a mixed bill, so to speak, on as the guest.
Awesome.
So that'll be a good time. I'm a big fan of those types of podcasts too, where we get to have a little bit of everybody in all different kinds of perspectives. So that should be a good one. We were jumping into some of the comments, seeing what people were saying.
Cool.
So
sorry about that.
No, not at all. It's I totally get it. See, this is when you have multiple band members; they can kind of fill in. But
my band's lazy.
You're holding it down, so I respect.
I'm also
that.
drinking 3 separate beverages, so it was
So that was inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Quincy said, "Saw you with Split 50 at my first ever concert at the Sherman in 2007-ish."
Cool, yeah.
Wadenstock is what I think it was called at the
Wadestock,
time.
yeah.
Wadestock, yeah.
That was with 2007. That would have been, who was the bands playing that year? I don't remember.
He said Split 50, Motionless in White.
Motionless in White, yeah.
Punchline, Bayside.
Matchbook Romance, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to play with Motionless in White all the time. I'm great friends of ours.
Oh, cool.
I've known those guys since they were 16, 15 years old.
That's awesome.
And we used to play fire halls together. Their band originally was called New Car Smell, and they were like a pop punk band.
That's hilarious.
Chris used to wear like a backwards hat and like a famous Stars and Straps belt. It was real different.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'll have to bring that up. So the last time I got to interview him, we were in our different studio at the time in Wilkes-Barre. And we basically just did a whole, because at this point they had so to speak made it, and they've been touring big and stuff like that. So our whole interview was basically nostalgia based. We all talked about those early days.
Oh yeah,
so he would love.
We used to play at a place called the Strand in McAdoo, which is like a skating rink, and there's a place up here we used to play with them all the time too. I forget the name of it. We played fire halls up. We used to play with those guys all the time.
He said that day changed my life, and I've been making music ever since.
Oh, I love to hear that.
So,
well, hope it's good.
Cool.
I hope it changed your life for the better.
Yeah, well, we were just talking. He just put out a new album, or is that
Yeah, just put out a solo album recently.
Oh,
in the
cool.
last few months with a bunch of local guest stars, so to speak. We'll be talking about that in a couple weeks on the podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that'll be fun. Jenny says, such a great treat to get a sneak peek into the vibe of the new album.
Yeah, everyone's gonna like it. I'm sure of it. And I'm usually, like I said, I'm usually not. But if you like, we've released 4 of the songs already, and if you like those, then the rest of the record's going to be right up your alley because it came together really well.
Let's see. And Rachel says, can't wait for this Friday.
Oh yeah.
What do you got planned for that show? Are you playing the whole album?
We are doing the whole record front to back.
Nice.
In record order. So Friday we're playing at our hometown, which is Stroudsburg, right at the Sherman. There's a small side venue that's not the main theater.
Right.
It only holds 100 people. And we thought it'd be really cool to just do this like tiny, intimate release party where it's just like, and keep it cool. Keep it 100 people, just fill the room up. And so we've got an opening band who are friends. They're called We the People, who are from like the Pocono Mountain area. And then we're going to play the full record, front to back, all 10 songs. And they're going to play about another 30 plus minutes of just like songs from our past records. We're going to do like merch giveaways. I'm ordering pizza for everybody. We're just getting pizza, and the whole venue's going to have pizza.
Nice.
And it's going to make it like kind of like a fun party kind of atmosphere. Our buddy Dave, who films all our music videos, is coming, and he's just going to film the show, and we're going to use that for, some video stuff, and just to make it like a good time. We're really excited about it, and I think there's like maybe 20 tickets left. It's like almost sold out,
right?
Which I'm very excited about too. So it'd be nice to sell out a show. And
I was going to say, sell this out, people.
Yeah, please. If you're considering coming, or if you have not heard us before, and you're just watching this show, like check us out online and come hang out. It's just gonna be a lot of fun, and plus get free pizza. So I mean, can't really beat that.
Win-win.
It's like $15 and you get free pizza and some music.
Let's see. We have Phyllis says hi, and Ted, hope you're coming to Nashville soon.
That's my mom. Yeah.
Autumn says hi, Ted. Let's see. We have Jenny said ask Ted if tell us more about your UK plans.
Yes. Oddly and very thankfully, our band happens to be more popular in the United Kingdom. It's like that old joke, we're big in Japan,
Yeah.
It's literally, and when we go to the UK, just the shows are twice as big, and we're able to tour and headline over there, which is amazing.
That's great.
So we try and go once a year. We've done 3 years in a row. It's full band. My first time I went over with Jarrett, my brother, like acoustic, and I think that's kind of like what ignited a lot of it. It was like they saw me do acoustic set, everyone was really into it, so we came back the following year, full band, and then we've been every year since. We are coming back to the UK this year, working on the tour dates right now. Everyone keeps bothering me about it. I get so many messages and so many comments. Every time we announce a tour or a show or anything, everyone's like, when's the UK tour? And it's like, I promise you guys, we're coming. We're working on it. And the second it's confirmed and announced, it'll be out for everyone to see. As it stands, I will say that when we're coming over, we're actually going to be opening for another band this time. So it'll be bigger shows, which I'm excited about.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Michelle said, love the songs you released so far. Any Florida plans for tours? We're having Don't Panic withdrawals.
Oh, yes. We will be back in Florida. We have a festival we're playing there at the end of the year. Can't announce it yet, but that's about as much as I could say. But yes, we will be back in the fall in Florida. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff on the calendar that's just not on the calendar because, there's announced dates for all sorts of different things. And the stuff we have up right now is just our home show this weekend. We're playing something called the Fiesta Oyster Bake in San Antonio with Switchfoot and Saliva, which is a really weird lineup for us. But
yeah, very interesting.
and it's going to be fun. It's like this big, like outdoor, parade day festival kind of thing, like food vendors and outdoor stages and stuff. Sure. So our stage is the Bud Light stage with Saliva and Switchfoot, which is just all sorts of weird. Yeah. But it's going to be really cool. And then we're actually playing at the Sherman Theater again in June, which we usually don't play twice in our home, but our buddies in Patent Pending are coming, and they're doing like a special anniversary headline show, and they asked us to come open, and we said, of course. So we're going to be playing in June, and then we have a couple shows we're announcing around that one, which we haven't done yet. And then the other thing we have announced is our August tour. We're very short, but we're doing that with our buddies in Driveways, Action Adventure, and Like Roses for a couple shows in the Midwest, like Chicago, Omaha, Buffalo, and Cleveland. But we have tons of other stuff going on. It's not announced yet. A lot of festivals this year, a couple other tours. So there's a lot of more stuff coming. Most likely, if you're asking if we're coming there, if it's not the Pacific Northwest or California, we're most likely coming. Because we just haven't made it out to the West Coast enough yet to fly out there for those.
Cool. Well, so keep tuned to your social medias then?
Yeah, we're very active. So if we're doing something, you're going to see it on there. It'll be posted.
So I was going through some of the shows that you played in the last couple of years, and one that stuck out to me was the Rock Boat.
Oh, yes.
It's a cruise that is billed as a floating music festival.
It is
That sounds
wild.
amazing.
It is unbelievable. We actually have done it 2 years now. We did our first time we did it was in 2025. It's always in January-ish time of year. So the first year we got on, we played it in 2025, and then this year we just did it also this past January. And it is hosted by Sister Hazel, the band, who, their one big song from the early 90s.
Yep.
And they are the nicest guys ever. And this is like, it's so cool because they take a cruise ship, they get rid of a lot of the like lounge chairs and the boring accommodations, and they set up 5 stages on the cruise ship, like a festival, like a concert. So like the main deck's got a big stage. They use the theater stage. They have another stage in the main like atrium, like walkway area, and then they just have bands playing all day, every day for 6 days in a row. And it's just like you could just wake up and go at midnight, and there's a band playing somewhere, or you just stay in your room and sleep, or you can go get the buffet, or whatever it is. Like it's like a cruise ship, but it's just concerts all the time. They have schedules they give you, and but it's like not cover band. It's like real bands. Like the one year we went, it was like American Authors and Verve Pipe and Tonic, and like Bowling for Soup was on last year with us, which was really cool to be with our friends. This year, like they have the Paradox, and they have like they're just like random bands. Like Lit been on it before, Mayday Parade. Like just have a band. It's all these awesome bands, and we were just like so excited the first year we got added, and then they invited us back this year, and it was like an instant yes. I was like absolutely, because it's literally just like, not only is it like people just minding their own business going to a concert, it's like everyone's friends, everyone's friendly, cool stuff happens. Like this past year the Struts were on, and it was 2:00 in the morning, and I was like hanging out at the bar in the atrium area, and the singer comes out. He's like, anyone have a guitar? And like someone had a guitar, and he just like sat there, and then me and him just like played cover songs like in the atrium for like 50 people at 2:00 in the morning. He's like, crazy. This song and that song. And I was just like, yeah, all right. And we just like would make our way through songs. It was wild. So it's like such cool stuff happens, and everyone just like is friends, and everyone, everyone says hi to everybody, and you get to interact with the bands and the fans, and everyone's just kind of there all together hanging out. So it's like a really cool community. Any year they invite us, we're going to say yes, like 100%. Yeah, and if you have opportunity to get tickets to go, just go. Don't even care about who's playing, because it's really fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This sounded so cool. Now it sounds
cool.
even cooler.
It is really cool. Well, we've had a lot of really cool tours. Like before I ran off to pee. We went out with Les and Jake and Bowling for Soup and the Aquabats that one tour, and that was like one of the first like big real tours I've ever been on. Where not like I've done Warped Tour. It's not the same. Like this was like venues. There's only a couple bands. Everyone's there for that show.
Yeah.
And what was one of my favorite memories of that tour was that it fell in the summer, right on the 4th of July was an off day. So what all three of the bigger bands did was they rented this massive like house cabin hunting lodge thing it was like West Virginia or something. It was like where we were in between shows. And they said, you guys come, stay, and we're just gonna have a big 4th of July party barbecue. So it's just the 4 bands like hanging at this house, like playing games, drinking, like barbecuing. I'll tell you, the Aquabats are the best grill masters I've ever experienced. They make unbelievable like chicken and asparagus and hot dog. Like it's just like everything they cooked was like unbelievable. But it was a lot of fun, and that was like one of my favorite tour memories for sure. It was just this awesome party at it. And like this place slept like 60 people. It was massive. I mean, there was like deer skulls everywhere, and that was kind of weird, but we had such a good time. So a lot of just like cool random stuff like that happens. Or, we go to England and we just, we have our buddy Ollie, who's like kind of like our merch guy, driver, whatever, because I don't want to drive on the wrong side of the road. I'll kill us. So he does all that. But as we're going, we would go, hey, what about this thing or that thing? We just stopped at Stonehenge and like, checked out Stonehenge, or we walked across Abbey Road and we took the Beatles photo, that kind of stuff is the best part of touring, is trying the new foods, going like to find the cool spots in the restaurants. I remember one time we were on tour in Wisconsin and we just stumbled on this like restaurant that was, it was like spy themed and you didn't even know it was a restaurant. You had to like have a secret password to get in, and they let you in through like a bookshelf. Like we found it on like we found it online, and then like couldn't figure out where we were. It was like in an alley, like right back here, and there's just like a door, and you like walked in. There's like a lady sitting there at a desk, and we're like, we're looking for this restaurant. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about, and we're like, there's like a password, and she's like kind of like looked at us, and then like someone like we figured it out or found out or something on a phone, and then she's like, okay, and she like opened the bookshelf, and then there's a huge restaurant in there. There's like all spy themed stuff. Or like you just find really cool stuff all over the country that you would never know exists unless you travel. So I mean, that's a big part too. It's like travel. Even if you don't have to be in a touring band, just go out and see stuff, because your time is limited and you want to experience as much as you can.
One of the other things I wanted to mention, because, I always keep in mind that a chunk of our audience is artists themselves who want to hear what the other artists have to say and get advice, things like that, or whatever. But I know it's something that I'm surprised that more local bands aren't doing, running a Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
And has that helped you as a band? And what kind of content are you creating for
Immensely. That? Patreon is the greatest website of all time. www.patreon.com/don'tpanicofficial or whatever it is. But
get that plug in there.
It's incredible. So I jokingly say it's just OnlyFans for bands. We don't show our butthole, but it basically just keeps the lights on, and I think the important thing is to really make it worth it, because you're getting your most dedicated fans and followers who are like, I like your band so much, or I like what you guys create. I want to support you. And like you said, streaming your music is not supportive. I mean, it is, but it's not like, you're not changing, you're not moving the needle for the people that you're trying to support.
Right.
And what can I do? And it's like, here's the thing where we spend a lot of time on it, and it's a website where you could put whatever you want, any extra content that you are doing as a band, and people will get access to that by paying whatever you want to charge a month. So it goes from $5 to $10, whatever you want to pay. And then each amount we set, like, if you spend $5 a month, these are the things we'll give you. If you spend $10, like, these are the things, and then it kind of goes up and up and up. There's a couple people who will give you $60 a month, and they get really cool stuff, I think, and if you were a fan of a band. And we'll do stuff like, we'll shoot video when we're in the studio, and we'll let you watch us write, or let us watch us record, or you get sneak previews of new songs, or you get the recording process, or maybe you'll get us on tour in the van. Like, hey, this is what it's like to be on tour. This is what we're doing. You get merch discounts. You get, I write every month. I put up the lyrics to a song, and I write this whole story behind the song, and then people get to see that. I write out handwritten lyric sheets for some people and sign them, and we send them to them to have whatever they want to do with them. I don't know what they do with them, but I do an acoustic live show streaming every month on the Patreon. Our old bass player Keith does like cooking. He's like a chef, and he'll like recipes, and he'll cook, and he'll show you like, this is how we make this dish, and he'll show them how to do it. Like just fun stuff like that. It's art. Anthony's a big toy collector. Like I said, like he'll shows people his toy collection. Like, I just ordered this cool thing, like blah blah blah. And we just come with lots of fun ideas. In England, one of our Patreon videos was just our photographer, videographer Amy went out to the store. She's from England, and she just bought us all these UK snacks that we never heard of. We put them all on a table, and we just one at a time we're trying them, and saying like, "What the hell is this thing?" I think that's some weird shit over there. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
But no, that was just a video we did, and it's fun and funny to watch. We're just like us, just being idiots. But it's really cool, and it helps pay your van payment. It helps pay the gas. It helps pay to make a video or a music video, or it's kept our equipment in good working condition. Where if we need in-ear stuff or cases or drum stuff, like that helps keep the band rolling, because like you said, it's so expensive to tour, and all that little stuff helps. So even if you're a local band and you've got 20 fans who are just like really into your band, and they're spending $5 to $10 a month, like that's an extra $250. It might not sound like a lot, but over the course of the year, there's $2 or $3 grand that you could invest somehow into your band and make stuff run better, so that they're getting even more. And your live show gets better, or your equipment gets better, your van gets repaired like the way it needs to, or whatever it is. So it's a huge resource, and I think if you don't have one, you're missing out. It really is worth getting.
And it sounds like it's something too that you enjoy doing.
I love doing it. It's a fun way to connect with the people who are really into your music, and like really into you as a group of people in your band, and it gives those people something where they get to like interact and feel, hey, I'm part of this. Like, you're a producer. Like, if you're like a movie producer, essentially, it's like the same concept. You're a producer of the band. Like you're a part of the reason why we're able to keep going, and you specifically. And you let them know that, like, hey, you're really helping, and appreciate you. And we always ask, like, is there anything you want to see? Like, what cool stuff do you want to? People say, hey, I would love to see. How do you record the guitars in the studio? And then we'll show them, like, this is how we do it, or whatever it is. So, yeah, if you dig our band and you have not checked it out, please do. It really is a big help.
All right, I think we have addressed pretty much all our good questions.
Oh, good.
Comments and stuff like that. See, Rachel said, hopefully Rock Boat in February again. And
I would love that.
That's how we met Dope Panic.
Yeah, we've met lots of people on Rock Boat. And that's another really cool thing about Rock Boat, is that it's about 3,000 people on that boat, but they will come to see your shows on land every time. I mean, it's funny to say it that way, but
right.
Anytime. Like every city has like this cluster of rock boaters. Like it really is a community. So if you play in Chicago, 20 rock boaters come out. Like just that, just playing on that boat increases your following in all these major cities, because all the rock boaters like, oh, rock boat band's playing, let's all go. So Boston, Chicago, New York, Philly, like wherever it might be, every show now we've played the last 2 years, we'll get 5, 10 rock boaters come over. Hey, rock boaters. And you go, oh, we always do like exclusive rock boat shirts, and, we try and do something fun for them too. So that like we know, like, rock boater, we see you, It's pretty cool though. Awesome event.
And it looks like all our people love Marvel. So, all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair.
Guys.
It's fair.
All
I mean,
guys.
Marvel's gotten the better press, and they got the better movies.
They certainly do.
Although they've got way more of them, and not all of them are great. But,
Yeah.
I grew up, I'm a Marvel guy. Punisher is my favorite.
Nice.
Punisher and Captain America, which is funny because they're very conflicting ideologies.
Very much so.
But those are my two favorite characters.
I'm big on that too. Well, yeah, it's funny because I love, like, I'm not a religious guy, but I love a character like Nightcrawler, for example.
Oh, yeah, he's awesome.
He's got that great balance of, trying to be this kind of faithful,
Pious.
pious Christian guy, but at the same time, like his fellow Christians look at him as an actual demon. You know,
Yeah,
like,
that's-
I love that dichotomy.
That's the
things
sign.
like
That's
that.
also the sign of a true person like that.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
really.
A real hero and a
Yeah,
real
yeah.
like somebody to aspire to.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like I love that kind of stuff. But yeah, Wolverine was always my top guy because that's what got me into comics.
Sure. I mean, he was like, especially in the '90s, like that's like the guy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
I
was
get it.
totally a sucker for that. You know, and then Spider-Man, of course, a close second. Cap was a big one for me.
Spider-Man's my brother's favorite. He named his kid Peter
And
Parker.
then Punisher, I would say probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm always big Marvel.
No, me
Yeah.
too. So yeah, anything else you want to mention before we wrap up here?
No, just hey, please check out our songs that are out from the new record. It comes out in 3 weeks. The full album, vinyl, CD, streaming, whatever. We'll take your 0.003 cents every song too. I'm very happy to get as many streams as possible. Unfortunately, that's a big metric on bands getting stuff these days, regardless if it's real or not.
Right.
You could pay for as many streams as you want, and it looks just as good as if, as I don't do that, and I hate it, but everything helps. We have our record release show this Friday. Please come out. We'll sure be back to the Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area at some point, I'm sure. Josh over at the theater, I'm always talking to him, so I'd love to come play there again. And yeah, tour dates coming up. We're announcing a bunch of tour dates again next week. We just announced some this past week. And we're going to be doing all sorts of spots. PA, Florida, Midwest, New England. It's all coming. So just keep an eye on us.
Nice. So I will help you with all these plugs by putting all the stuff we've been putting on the screen all night.
Awesome.
For your consideration, the fourth full-length album by Don't Panic is set for release on April 17th on all major streaming platforms. Don't Panic will play their For Your Consideration album release show with We the People this Friday, March 27th at the Sherman Showcase in Stroudsburg. There are a few tickets left.
20.
20, yeah, only 20
20.
tickets left, which are $15 in advance or 20 at the door. So make sure that you get them soon. They're on sale now. And Don't Panic will tour with Driveways, Like Roses, and Action Adventure in August, with the closest stop around here, anyway, is Buffalo, New York. Tickets go on sale this Friday, March 27th as well. So thanks again for everybody who tuned in and participated. You guys really make the show, and thank you for making the drive out here.
Dude, man, thank you for inviting me.
Probably cost you at least $100 to get here.
$100 in gas. I drive a diesel engine tractor, so it took a while.
And the way home will cost you twice as much because the
gas price had gone up.
Yeah, just while we were talking, they
that's
went up
probably
again.
true.
Yep.
But no, I appreciate you having me. And as always, it's a great show, and keep watching.
Yes,
There
thank
you
you. And we're back. We're definitely going to be more on a weekly basis now. So we will see you here next week for another NEPA Scene podcast. And do all the good social media algorithm things, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. It helps us get this stuff in the algorithm in an organic way. We're not having to pay these bastards to sponsor posts and all that kind of shit. But it helps all artists in the long run, because the more that our show gets out there, then the more people know, oh, I got to tune in next week for who's on then, and so on and so forth. So, rising tide lifts all ships, all that good stuff. So thanks again. We will see you here next week, and let us know what you like, if you like that intro, if we should keep it or we should change it. But thank you to Apollo Putnam and Landy Berkland for recording that song for us. They came up with the theme song all on their own. The last time we had a theme song was back when we were an audio only podcast many, many years ago when we first started the show. And ever since we went live, I always wanted to have something like that. And I always kind of in the back of my mind, like, oh yeah, we're going to do that at some point, and just never really got around to it.
You did it. Good job.
Yeah, we had some time off, and I figured, all right, let's finally do that, make it happen. And those guys really produced that. I gave them the old song and said, do what you want. If you want to do this, redo this song, or you want to do your own thing with it. And they ended up kind of doing their own thing with it. And I think it came out great. So thanks again to those guys, and Have a good night. We will see you next week.